How to start a perennial flower garden. Perennial flowers make your home more beautiful and serene, though they have a shorter bloom time. They continue to grow year after year and thereby require less work than replanting annual. Figuring out how to start a perennial flower garden takes cool little creativity, resourcefulness and hard work, but it's going to be worth it. Keep in mind opting for a mix of species that bloom at various times at the year ensures your garden looks great for longer. To start, follow this step-by-step guide. 1. Planning your perennial flower garden. The perfect time to start prepping the soil and planting perennials is during spring, therefore during the winter start planning. Figure out the materials you need and determine the necessary preliminary casks. Make a list and the perennials you want to grow. Compile useful information that includes tips on how to plant, grow and maintain each premium bookmark garden site you find helpful for future reference. Drone or schedule 100 how you want the plants arranged in your garden. Buy seeds and plants from reputable sites or suppliers. And while you're at it, start investing in Pixley garden soil and equipment to start small. If you are a beginning gardener, it's more practical to start with a small patch on raised bed before expanding to a larger area. This test drive helps you determine what works and what doesn't. Once you have a feel for the best practices and know how your plants grow best, you can increase the sun. As a beer garden, make sure to plant in an area that receives adequate sunlight, more shade depending on the perennial. In general, if you live in her climate, choose an area that receives shade from the harsh afternoon sun. Moreover, the soil should be loamy, not rocky. If you have poor soil, take the necessary steps, such as ending peat moss and compost to enrich the soil. Expand employees at more perennials. If your test drive goes well, get ready to expand. Dig into the soil 2 inches deep. Remove rocks and other debris. Had an intro to have manure and compost to enrich the soil. If your soil is sandy and grass cuttings were peat moss. If the soil is too acidic, add lime so more plants can grow in your garden. Below the packet instructions on planting the seeds. If you have researched beforehand, refer to it for the best methods to play up the premiums. Find out which flowers grow best with others, and do some companion planting. Some herbs and vegetables also support the growth of certain flowers. You may also put them together for maintaining your perennial flower garden. Water your garden regularly. The best time to do so is in the early morning and late afternoon. And in the case have any unusual weather changes, check to make sure your plants staying well hydrated. You can also irrigate your garden to ensure the perennials are hydrated all day. To ensure that your perennials continue blooming year after year, cut all blooms periodically to make way for new ones. Proven as well to encourage greater taking the time to learn the ropes on how to start a perennial flower garden is extremely fulfilling and beneficial, as tending to a garden is a fun, happy, hand-good exercise. Plus you get to soak in some sun and vitamin D while enjoying a beautiful garden. Every year beat